Hello, you lovelies, and welcome to my first post-birthday episode of Koicast. I am Koi Jandro, a Bostonian who loves pop culture, comic books, and people, joined, as always, by the well-rested, not running into the room in a scattered position, Jake Lloyd Bacon.
Made it. No one will ever know.
It was amazing, because it was like, I literally had maybe the 7 seconds I did my intro, but currently it's pajama day.
Nobody.
So adding to the visual is he's in socks, so he skittered out like a Looney Tune, but I saw his pants flutter last, like he turned the corner,
Listen,
and now he's back.
I started the theme song, I started the recording, and then I realized I needed to do something in the other room abruptly that I forgot to do, so I ran out, but
it was amazing.
Luckily, no one will ever know.
No one. Not every listener, because I had to start the show this way.
I do regret not quickly taking my pants off when I left.
It was
so
solid.
that way when I come back, I could have just slid in like risky business.
And I've been like, I like that old time rock and roll, Jake Lloyd Bacon. I do understand.
How was your birthday?
Dude, it was so surreal.
Your birthdays. My
birthdays, I really, really wanted two things on my birthday. I wanted a raucous night of excessive drinking that didn't feel like an alcoholic because you have your birthday excuse. But I wanted to start it with a calm day. So Jake came to my calm day party.
No, I didn't.
Well, that's the irony, is I wanted to go to the park. I'm a man of duality. I enjoy peace and nature and also getting blackout drunk. So my birthday...
You said you're a man of dew.
I'm a man of dew. I wanted those two things. So I invited Jake to both, but Jake obviously opted for the calm, centric nature birthday.
Don't say the obviously nonsense. I had a very early day the next morning. Alexandra, because of her work, was not able to join.
You're also a nature person. I assumed you'd come to the nature park.
Sure, but they'll make it seem like I had no interest in going
no. I see you at night things as well. I thought you'd want to be in nature with me, and you did.
Yeah.
So we get to the nature part, and we're sitting in the park, and by nature, I mean Old Zoo Griffith Park, which is one of my favorite places in the world, where someone had turned one of the old zoo vestibules, enclaves, alcoves, into a speaker amplifier by setting up four 3.5-foot speakers stacked on top of each other and playing the worst, not even good, but like very bad 90s house music.
The only thing that I could say about what our relaxing day in the park was, it was we accidentally went to a face paintless meeting of the Juggalos.
100%. Because we had behind us, there's a nook in the old zoo that I particularly enjoy. There's this little ravine that a river runs through, and you can't see any LA.
A river is supposed to run through it.
Yeah, if we didn't live in Southern California, a lake bed that once was a river. But I really like this little area because if you look left, right, straight, up, down, like there's no LA. Like it's just this little beautiful patch of nature that is like in the middle of the park, and I love it. But there was a gathering of LARPers. There was this like fairy convene. So all these beautifully they looked great.
I was happy that there were LARPers. I was not happy about the Juggalos.
I like the LARPers because they'd appear over the wall and it'd be like a movie, and then like I would, for one beautiful moment, forget the LARP, the Juggalos. But I didn't want to be amongst them because it felt like I was like, my birthday, I didn't want in fairyland. I wanted to like have my nature time. So we sat at like the furthest from the chaos we could. And literally I was apologizing to everyone that arrived at my birthday. Like, hey, just follow the horrible sound. You'll find me.
Alexandra, when I got home, Alexandra was like, "What's wrong with your voice?"
Because we were yelling the entire time.
I was like, yeah, because it was like we were at a bar where you like had to yell in order to hear.
And I wanted to avoid that exact thing.
So I will say, you're not a bright person.
That's always true.
If you wanted a nice, relaxing day at a park, like you don't pick Griffith Park Old Zoo on a Saturday afternoon.
But it needed to be close to the bar.
You should know here. You should know longer. Well, then, next time, ask for the recluse's recommendations.
The last 4 years I did this.
Yeah.
And this was the first
Saturday?
time. It was a Friday, a Saturday, and a Sunday, and now a Saturday. So I've done it all because I want people to be able to make it. You know,
I get it.
But this was the first time, because like, there's always stuff, but it's never been. I've also never been to the park where someone turned a zoo into a speaker.
I have been to that park.
I literally, as you walked up, I told you, I was like, this is your movie theater experience.
Yeah, right. It really
is. It felt like when Jake got there, I was like, this is immediately what you experience at AMC Burbank. Like this is exactly what I never experienced. Because we go to the same theaters.
Yeah, I do want to give a shout out to what was his name? Not Ray. What was the guy's name? The LARPer who was friends with your friend.
Oh, Finn. Was it Finn? Gil.
It was Gil. I want to give a shout out to Gil.
Good old Gil.
Gil with the didgeridoo, the oversized
14-foot didge,
alpine horn style didgeridoo I could not convince him to go join the Juggalo techno dance
Just
party.
a duel of sounds.
I mean, he would have been drowned out immediately, but it would have been a humorous visual.
I would have loved it. That said, the didgeridoo is one of my favorite instruments, so that did feel like fortuitous that a didgeridoo appeared in a man dressed, an actual blacksmith dressed gorgeously with a didge. That was a moment. But yeah, it was apparently between 77 and 84 decibels on average because one of my friends has a thing because she doesn't handle loud sound well. So I don't know what device this is, but she sent me a sound exposure that she received where her device was saying, no, too loud. So we have science to back up that bullshit. That sucked. But yeah, it was nice. And then at night, I got louder, but I got to see like the lion's share of my friends I invited don't know each other. I like to bring groups together.
Sure, yeah.
So it was really cool to see. I think the best compliment I can receive as an adult is you have really great friends. Like I'm learning more and more that I want that. Like I want to gather people and I want my life to be full of people I love and care about. And as I hit this wall of burnout that I've hit, like I'm repositioning what my values are. And it was a really interesting thing where I had the worst, I had a really bad week leading up to my birthday, like aggressively bad. And then the actual birthday started just as painfully like, why universe? But then at night it was people I love. And then I was like, okay, today people I love came and saw me against the odds and the sounds. And then at night, people that don't know each other got to know each other and were all texting me how great blankety blank was. And that felt like the best gift of all is to be like, hey, you're willing to endure this to be around me. That's a gift. Also, you're willing to meet new people, which is hard in LA, especially post-pandemic, and like have that environment. So it was a really special day once I let myself go like, bro, see this for what it is, not being mad at the Batman Beyond intro playing to your right.
Right. Batman Beyond is too kind.
That's too kind. That's actually good music. Also, Jake is a sweetheart and brought me Gushers, and I know we're good friends because that is such a specific koi detail,
Very
and I had the
specific.
last one this morning, and I was so happy. I literally was like gleeful for like a 48-hour window.
I did exit that party like a professional with a solo cup filled with Oreos. 'Cause if you don't leave a party, take a cup. Fill it with a
Scoop it up.
snack. Fill it with a snack of your choosing. That's how you exit a party.
What are you even doing?
It was a long drive home.
It was. You went from whence you came and back again. But yeah, so it was fun, man. It was nice to see people. I saw, new friends and old. Some of my friends I'd known for 12 years, and then some that were like new 6-month recent friends. So it was really cool to look at that spread through the photos and be like, wow, okay. And speaking of burnout, I did go to D23 during the time we haven't recorded. You've already heard all the news from D23 because if you care enough to listen to the show, you care enough to have been on the internet in the last week. But you don't know what Jake and I thought of a couple of these things, and I specifically wanted to know what Jake thought of 2 trailers. Okay. The first of which was Secret Invasion. I personally came out of San Diego Comic-Con with Secret Invasion being my most surprising trailer. So I saw a version of this trailer 3 months ago, and I like the Secret Invasion comic, but I don't love it. I always felt like it was good, but it was like very much an event for an event's sake comic. Like, when you see a movie and you're like, I get it. Right. The comic felt like that to me, where I was like, you have to make an event. So the show was low expectation.
Remind me what Secret Invasion followed.
Shit.
It didn't follow Civil War, did it?
It was like
predated.
No, it was after Civil War, but it was like a sister sequel. It was like that same paranoia, that same like. It's Lionel Francis Yu on art.
Because the only reason why I say that is because I did not read Secret Invasion because I felt like, all right, we just did this. Like, so I'm trying to remember what it was. It might have been Civil War because I read all of Civil War. Like, I read every
and that's
Civil
what I mean,
War
it felt
title.
like an event. I'm like, I get it.
And I like, I went to, at that time, I think I might have been working at Borders. And so I just read all the books we had at Borders, all the trades.
Yeah.
So I only bought like a few. I have like Civil War Spider-Man, and I have like the main Civil War trade.
It also lasted from April to December 2008. So it was long.
Right, yeah, I didn't.
That was another thing I think hit me where I was like not thrilled.
Yeah.
I'm going to see what 2007 event comic was. But yeah, I think it was right after Civil War.
That would make sense why I had burnout, because I was like, yeah, it just is too much. There's too many things happening.
And that's why like I was, wait a second. Oh yeah, 06 to 07 was Civil War, and then 08 was, so it literally was the next thing. And it ran forever.
So that does sound right. That feels like, yeah.
So I was not as excited for the show, but just because I was like, okay, I don't love the book, I don't hate it. But then the trailer for me, this was my big like, oh, I'm in.
I was really shocked that it was a show. I did not know that. I thought this was going to be one of the titles. The fact that it's a show, I think when you're in this space in the MCU, I actually did like this feels TVA-ish. It feels Loki-ish. Like, it feels like the sort of thing that I enjoy as a show more than a movie.
Sure.
Whereas some other these titles I went like, man, this could have been a movie.
Sure.
But yeah, the trailer looks really, really fun. It looks really unique. I was gonna say earlier because we were watching it before we started recording, and then I was like, "Oh, I had an idea," and then I was like, "I'm gonna save it for the show." It seems like insanely expensive Doctor Who.
Oh, I like that.
That's kind of the vibe.
I like that a lot.
Because it seems to be like government, secret agents, aliens protecting cover-ups.
Yeah.
There's fun sci-fi
Treadstone, Jason
elements.
Bourne.
Yeah, there's I don't know that I'm getting Jason Bourne out of it.
Oh, the way it's shot to me feels like a mix of green grass and the way they brought the Jeremy Renner one back in, where it's like it's not Dutch, but it's not straight. It's not shaky, but it's not still. Like it feels that energy.
I guess I just feel like that's how movies look nowadays, and maybe that's because of the Bourne
I think Jason Bourne really shifted.
Because of the Bourne
well, think about the
movies,
Mission Impossible movies. They're Jason Bourne movies now. Like the action industry.
I wouldn't know, but
oh, that's right.
Never seen them.
So Jason Bourne impacted Bond pretty directly.
Sure.
You're more of a Bond guy. So post Jason Bourne, look at Daniel Craig. Look at action movies. Look at
I've always
Uncle.
said that was my big gripe with I really dug Casino Royale, but my gripe was like, oh, it's not fun.
Right.
It's not fun enough.
So action movies to me, Jason Bourne is like one of the biggest impacts. When you get to the Mission Impossibles, you'll see when it shifts post Mission Impossible 3.
Right, sure.
It's like, oh wow, this is a Bourne movie.
Let's do the thing that sells.
Yeah. Oh, in these franchises. So to me, this feels very much in that vein, but you from the outside would see it as just what action is
right.
now.
Yeah. There is one little thing that and it's a real minimal gripe because I don't know the story, I don't know what's happening, but I think they need to, when I say they, I mean the MCU, the Marvel writers need to be concerned about repeating this trope that's sort of happened, and they avoided it with Thor Ragnarok and Thor Ragnarok only. We are constantly ending a movie or ending a scenario, a situation in which a character goes off. And then we think like, oh, that's going to be their next adventure. But then when we revisit that character, it's like, and then they're back from that thing. Sure. For example, I while I did thoroughly enjoy Love and Thunder, I was really bummed that in the first 2 minutes of Love and Thunder, it's like, nope, you're not getting as Guardians of the Galaxy. Bye, guys.
And we haven't seen Sam Jackson in space yet.
Exactly. It ended. I thought like we were going to get him in space with the.
I'm hoping that's the Marvels.
Krull. Yes, I was confused. Krull and Kree. Skrull. Sorry. Krull is the fantastic old movie. Anyways. So yeah, I thought we were going to get more of that, and then it's like, nope, he's back.
Yeah.
So, and I feel like we've done that with a few characters. I'm struggling to come up with the specific examples.
We've done it a few times with just Thor.
But yeah, sure, Thor.
Thor is always on a walkabout, and at the end of a movie, he's like, we're going to go to this, and then it's always and he's done.
And then the next movie,
and then he walks
he's
about
back
again.
from that. Yeah, exactly. And so I do feel like when it starts with him returning, we didn't see Bucky in Wakanda.
Right?
We saw a cold.
We saw him at a spa. Like we saw the spa Bucky, and then we got him back.
Yeah.
Like we've never seen these people out of their element.
And that's what
I like in the comic books.
Yeah.
Comics are so good at characters out of their element. And people complain about too much fish out of water, but that's the world.
I feel like the thing that I loved most about Captain Marvel was not present in the movie Captain Marvel. Captain Marvel to me was, oh yeah, no, she's out there with Rocket Raccoon annoying the shit out of her.
Right.
And like it is that they went on an adventure. Now we have to see that adventure. Not they went on an adventure and now they're back and they're going to have a new thing.
Yeah.
No, wait.
Oftentimes the new thing is more like the last thing.
Which is also why it's hard to get excited about post-credit scenes these days because it's like, okay, all right, let's take this as an example. End of Eternals. If you haven't seen it,
I was literally
spoilers.
about to use Eternals.
Okay, End of Eternals. Half of the Eternals are in space. They are unaware that the other half of them are gone. Right. That they have been, what would you call, assimilated? What would you call what happened to the Eternals on Earth?
I could say assimilated.
Right.
Yeah.
So half of them are in space, and then what's his face shows up.
Eros.
Yes, Eros shows up,
and we don't know when he's coming back.
And we think like, hey, next time so that would tell me the next time we visit Eternals, it's going to be was it 4 of them? How many of the Eternals were up there? I think 4 or 5.
4, and then Pip the Troll and Eros.
Right. So it's going to be the 6 of them together on that ship. If they're,
guarantee there's a time jump, and they're like, oh, we got everybody back.
If their like consistency
with how the MCU, especially Phase 3 and 4,
holds true, Eternals 2 is going to start with like, and we're back on Earth. And when we were in space, we hung out with Pip and I keep on calling him Eros. We hung out with Eros and Pip, and it was a crazy adventure. But now we're on Earth. We have to figure out this new thing. It's like, no, you ended there.
We wanted that. We needed that. And also, like, Eros and those characters, I do worry, like, won't get incorporated because traditionally, And Harry Styles' schedule
Right.
and stuff. Like they need to. I don't know.
Sure.
I think I finally hit my like phase 4 is frustrating, and it wasn't
See,
mode.
So, anyways, that's my stupid little like immediate gripe with the beginning of the trailer, where it's like, oh, where have you been? I've tried to call you so many times with
Right.
Hill, with being like, Agent Hill being like, geez, you seem to go let his calls go. And I'm like, yeah, but what was he doing during
But
that?
can you tell us about that though?
Yeah.
And maybe the Marvels does that because that comes out in February.
And is the
and
idea
that's space based.
Yeah.
That's Captain Marvel and Miss
Space-based.
Marvel and Spectrum.
right?
So like theoretically
but-
that could involve him.
Again, that's just not even a gripe, a something I noticed,
Sure.
something I acknowledge. But the trailer looks super fun. Yeah, I'm yeah.
This is my Marvel side that I enjoy the most.
Yeah,
The ground level, even though it's got aliens.
but it's like, how does the fantastical world that they have discovered affect humans?
Sure.
And I think, yeah, that's what the Winter Soldier felt like.
Yeah.
That's where it's like, oh no, there's this.
I think that's why I like Black Widow more than most. Like a lot of people hate
Yeah.
the Black Widow movie. And I'm like, at least that feels like tangible.
I love that movie. So
Yeah,
much,
like
but
it's
probably not for all the same reasons. But yeah. There is, like you said, it's the action level, the action human version.
because that's
of
what I
it.
read in the comics the most. I'll
Is
read the
it?
cosmic
Yeah.
stuff to connect, but like I don't seek it out. Like I'll read it because I'm a completionist, but I don't seek that world.
I wonder what if I were to like go through the just Marvel comics. I feel like it's got to be X-Men at the top. No, Spider-Man at the top. X-Men second. I'm trying to think of like the things that I've read.
Yeah. And I like
Punisher, yeah, and then it is sort of like the
Street level.
the Marvel Knights, because it's Punisher and Daredevil are like side by side. I've read them a ton. Yeah, I'm trying to think of like what specific. Yeah, I don't read a lot of cosmic Marvel. I read a lot when I was younger,
Mhm.
but I never had any idea what was going on.
It's always like a lot.
It was always like, oh, I read these because it was like if it was like Jack Kirby artwork,
Sure.
and I was like, for example, I read Eternals when I was young.
Yeah.
I couldn't follow. I didn't know what the fuck was happening.
Sure.
I'm like the broad strokes of
Yeah,
kind
yeah.
of what was happening.
I can tell what's punching.
But I knew who the good guys were, who the bad
Yeah,
guys
exactly.
were.
That's
But
what I mean, like, all right.
but it was mostly just like, wow, look how cool this looks.
Yeah. But even today, like I like the grounded. I like when X-Men are home more than they're in space.
Sure. Oh yeah, X-Men in space is stupid.
But they do so much of it. I like it. This Krakoa thing. It's gone on forever, and I'm like, I don't love it. Like it's fine.
Yeah, I haven't read a new X-Men title in so long. So I don't
They've
even
been
know
on
what's-
Krakoa for like 5 years,
I don't even
but
know
you
what's
haven't touched a
happening
comic
there.
in like 10. So or like an X-Men comic. I mean,
Yeah,
not-
the last X-Men comics I read were Ultimate, and I'm up to like hardcover 9.
yeah, and that's
which was
from
probably
2000
like 15 years
Yeah,
ago.
exactly.
Yeah.
And that's from 2007 or whatever.
Yeah.
And then the other one I really want to talk to you about was Werewolf by Night.
Let's talk about what I'm gonna call the best advertisement that Marvel has ever put out there. Nothing has made me want to watch something more than this, because it's not predicated on, for example, Secret Invasion looks cool because it's like, we like these characters already.
Right.
I want to see what these characters are up to.
Brand new.
If it just started like this, I'd be like, yeah, it looks weird, but like, this looks so good.
Dude, Man Thing
Also-
in a fucking Flash made me so excited.
Can I tell you what could have been for Morbius?
Oh God, right?
Like, this is the
This
second
is
I saw
exactly
this.
that.
The second I saw this, and by the way, I still haven't seen it. I just found out last night that Morbius is now on Netflix.
Yes, it's Morbin time.
So I did not know that. So I
Just started like 5 days ago.
I'm
You're
gonna
you're
have to-
gonna. Oh, that's gonna be fun.
I'm gonna have to
Tune
watch
in
that.
next week or 2 weeks from now. Patron only pod.
Yeah, 2 weeks from now, I'm gonna shred Morbius to pieces for the enjoyment of everybody.
And I'll sit here in silence, appreciating his
no,
zeal.
fuck that garbage. Because even though I haven't seen it, this is what could have been.
I don't disagree with that.
Like,
'Cause, like, this looks
imagine
incredible.
this. I mean, by the way, I didn't know this. Maybe we did talk about it when
Michael Giacchino?
when Morbius. No, when
Oh.
Morbius was out. I don't know if you brought it up and I just forgot about it. But our mutual friend Adam Murray recently on Letterboxd logged. I'm trying to find.
Uh-oh.
Tried to find Morbius, and let's see here. Oh, damn it. Anyways, he said something to the extent of, "I can't believe they made a vampire movie with no blood." And I said, "Wait a minute, is that true?"
There's bags of blood.
Oh my God.
Dude, the MPAA is such bullshit. You can be
But-
like hypersexual
course.
in certain ways, but not hypersexual in others. But you can show someone die and
Oh,
just shot in the face,
it is-
but no blood. Like there's such.
Have you seen the
hypocrites.
documentary?
I've seen it.
This
That,
film
like,
was not rated?
Yeah.
That's a fantastic
Well,
documentary.
because like the hypocrisy is so clear, and then
Right.
it does what great documentaries do, where it goes, "Hey, we know this is dumb. Here's why it's dumber."
right.
And it's like
Or
such a
no,
great-
it's more dumb than you think.
That yeah, that's what I mean. Like
Yeah.
it's worse than you can imagine. Here's some details.
But anyways, yeah, this looks so fucking good.
It looks so good. And even the opening, like, special presentation. And like, the way they play with our nostalgia in the back. Like, Marvel's very good at knowing what their audience is. And I think just that opening 10 seconds of Marvel press, like, that was like, you know me.
It also feels like another style, another thing that they can offer that's unique. If you're a fan of the old B-horror, if you're a fan of Universal Monsters, but you don't really care necessarily about superhero shit, maybe they're gonna hook you with this, and maybe it's not gonna get you to watch the other shit, but it's like, hey,
Elsa Bloodstone, Man Thing, Werewolf by Night, like it's got so much going on.
It looks like it's gonna be a lot, and if I'm not mistaken, it is a special, so it's a movie for Disney Plus,
right? And
it's not a TV show.
It's out in like 3 weeks.
Yeah, and it's. Do you think it's gonna be like probably like an hour?
45 minutes to an hour.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Because if you look at those Universal monster movies, they're like
the classic ones.
Yeah, they're like 58 minutes.
That was because that's what a feature presentation.
But I feel like this is going to mirror that,
right?
Like, and Michael Giacchino is one of the greatest composers of our time. We talk about him a lot. Like, he's done everything from the Batman to Spider-Man to Doom. Like, he everything.
Yeah.
And then for him to direct and come out the gate like this, I'm like, bro,
it looks so fun. It just
how does that man have so much time? Composing is not a small good God, man. This looks incredible.
Yeah.
And the chemistry on stage. I was in the room when Michael Giacchino brought out Gael Garcia Bernal.
Is that who's playing Elsa?
Yeah. No, Gael Garcia Bernal is the guy playing Werewolf by Night.
Oh, so I thought you said Gail. I thought it was a woman.
It's a male.
Sure.
Gael.
Got it.
Like Gail.
Yeah.
He's in a bunch of stuff, but I can't place anything. I think 21 grams. Like he's an actor, you'd recognize his face.
Okay.
And then I forget her name because I actually did not know her work, but she's Irish, so I like her automatically. And they came out, and their chemistry on stage was so playful, so fun, so like energetic, and we saw literally every cast for the next 3 years of movies.
Right.
And like, it gets old, or it doesn't get old for everybody. For me, it's like, okay, I'm aware. Those are humans on a stage.
It at some point, it does become like,
it's a dog show.
But it's
you march them out. They look pretty. They go back. We yell 10.
It's not just that. It's that like, this shit's not soon.
Right.
Like, I'm not,
Dude, I think I saw for the first time Kevin Feige be like mad at expectations because all the Fantastic Four shit, everyone was assuming.
Because everybody was like, we got no X-Men, no Fantastic Four. I was like, who cares? It's not soon.
But for the first time, Kevin Feige looked out at the audience and he's like, and I'm only going to say this once, and I'm going to point to him because he's standing in the audience and he's not going to say anything. Matt Shankman, director of Fantastic Four. And then they went to the next thing.
Right.
Literally, he put it up in the thing and I was like, I think that was the first middle finger from Feige. Like, it felt like he was like, guys, stop. And I really respect that. Like, it really made me go like, oh, I like this, man, because he's acknowledging it. He's making people know he hears it, but fuck you. That's like 3 years away.
As much as I
2 years away.
Would love to just leave this god-awful podcast with you behind and simply work.
Thanks, Jake.
And simply work in the movies. As much as I would love that.
You know what? I'm trying to make it interesting again. I'm tired too.
I'm joking. I look
forward to our weeks.
Of all of the jobs, though, I would not want to be Kevin Feige.
Right.
Like that seems
so stressful.
Like I'm sure he's made so much money hand over foot, and I'm sure that he's very happy and he's proud of his work, but
he can only do wrong.
Exactly. Like there's a level of just fuck everybody. I can't win.
Right. That's what I felt, and I was like, dude is giving you 10 trailers. We saw like literally 8 trailers. And everyone was saying disappointing D23. And I was like, and this was one of my moments. And it's funny, Jake off air maybe 6-7 months ago was like, I worry that you're going to hit burnout and you're not going to love this stuff anymore because it's all you get to do.
I don't think I said burnout. I said, I think I'm worried that you're going to hit a interest wall.
Right. It was something like that.
Where you're literally going to be like, oh, that's right. I got into promoting this stuff and trying to be a fixture in this community because I love it. And now it exhausts me.
Right.
And I'm worried that like, you've turned your hobby into your job, and then your hobby is going to no longer.
And then I don't have any hobbies.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I don't have time for hobbies. Because all the things I do that people find as hobbies are to my job, which has happened. I'm trying to love it.
I mean, listen. Of all the things that I don't want people to tell me I was right about,
is me being broken,
you being
spiritually. No, but I feel like I'm working on making sure that it's interesting to me again. So therefore, it's interesting to talk about again. Because the last thing I want, the thing I've always prided myself on with all the. And I'm going to use this word because it's the difference between art and content. All the content I make, I want to be different than everybody else's. So I want to make sure what I'm putting out is authentic. Because if I'm just yelling, this looks great, then that is the same as a lot of the TikTokers I don't respect. So I'm trying to make sure while I go through this wave of like, how do I find what this is for me again? I still keep people updated, but I also am being authentic to both the audience and myself.
Trying to.
Yeah, as best I can.
I mean, you still can't tell me that Morbius sucks.
What I think about Morbius.
You're not legally allowed.
When do I get to wear Gucci again, Jared Leto?
Corporate shill.
That said, I did find it really interesting that I was part of the problem this time. So like that's what I wanted to talk about with D23 is this, and I've made a couple of videos about it. I'm sure people have heard it, but just in case, this was the first time I was like, yes, we're getting Fantastic Four. Yes, we're getting X-Men because Marvel wants to do it on their own home turf. I'm expecting blank, blank, and blank. And it didn't happen. And for the first time, I drank the internet Kool-Aid where about halfway through the presentation, after I'd already gotten 4 trailers, after I'd already seen a ton of announcements, after I was already like really impressed by a lot, I was like, okay, now where's X-Men? And I was like, oh, no, I cannot, because like, that's not okay. And I'm really glad I noticed it the first time because now I'm not going to let myself slip because it was unhealthy.
I mean, there's something to be said about like, if you were expecting something and you didn't get that thing, then you're going to be disappointed. But that doesn't. It. But well, it's also just a matter of like, I don't know. Now I sound like I'm just going to undermine the entire community. Who cares? Like, do you not have enough shit now?
That's what I'm saying. Is we got 8 trailers.
Yeah, exactly.
I didn't need Fantastic Four and X-Men on top of that. I shouldn't have wanted that.
And also, like, it's not soon. Again, like it's not like you're going to be like, great, now I have this information that I can do something with.
And
like,
more than that, it's not something they even implied or promised. More than that, they didn't say you're getting this and then disappointed us. How can they disappoint you if they never promised it?
And also, can I say, like, I think this is another big problem with the way that the, online, I don't know what you want to call it, the con community, the geek community, the pop culture, whatever you want to call it, community is like, it's become so many people's lives to simply discuss this stuff. Like,
right.
Like you are out there and you are doing something significantly more specific, in my opinion, than a lot of other people. But I mean, you and I know a lot of these people. Like,
right.
There are a ton of people out there who their entire life is just like, I need to talk about this movie on a YouTube, or I need to talk about this thing. And so they feel like I don't have anything else.
Right.
So they're either going to talk about what was given to them and just feed a hype machine, or they're going to talk about how they didn't get what they wanted. Those are the only 2 options they have.
Yep.
And because of that,
and that's what I realized was I don't want to be that.
Like, yeah, and because then they go like, well, I have nothing else.
Right. And I need these clicks because I need to keep the channel up. I need to keep the SEO up. I need to keep the algorithm. I need to stay in the fucking whatever it is.
I follow so few like YouTuber, like what you would call online content creators. And I consider each one of them more of an artist than a content creator. But the through line of all the people that I follow is that they don't have a thing. Mm-hmm. That there's no, like, the reason I follow them is because everything that they put out is unique.
Well, and that's what I try to do is that comic books are my core.
Well,
and so what I'm speaking to is I'm trying to work my way back towards that in this journey line is I'm the only person I know that reads 40 to 70 comics a week. I'm the only person. Like, even people that work at comic stores, I don't know anyone that reads as much as I do.
Right.
So I'm trying to make sure that specificity doesn't become the let's go of the TikTok world.
Right,
like, I'm very conscious of that.
Right.
So what I'm trying to do is, while I'm enjoying the things they're giving me, still relate it to the source that I know more than anyone else, while also remembering to enjoy it. And I don't want to become a TikToker that's chasing the algorithm. I need to be on these platforms from the studios, but I don't want to suddenly become someone that's seeing the world in that binary where it's like, I got this or I didn't.
Because right now everybody's talking about Fantastic Four, so I need to chime in about this.
Right, and that's not healthy. Yeah. And like at the same time, I almost made a video the day after D23 saying like, okay, we didn't get a Fantastic Four, here's who I'd cast. And I stopped because I love Fantastic.
Because you've done it a billion times.
Well, no, but I love doing it, but I immediately realized I was doing it for the likes and the hits than what I wanted to do. It was me being obliged by the system versus, hey, I enjoy doing this thing.
Right, yeah.
And so I immediately stopped, and I'm still going to do it, but I'm going to do it when I want, as opposed to like, let me chase the SEO. So it's been a really big, since we recorded last, the last 2 weeks have been very like, okay, what do I want again? I'm a grown ass man. Well, I'm choosing that over this fucking.
I'm sorry
push.
you've hit that wall as a pundit, as you like to call it. A pundit. I still don't know how to pronounce that word.
Pundit.
I always put n extra.
There's an extra n in there. I don't even know where it is. It's like PNDNIT. Yeah, pundit.
I always want to say pundit.
That's interesting.
I don't know why. It's just a word that's in my head that I created, and this is we're gonna roll with it here.
It's not even like an accent.
You are a pundit.
Yes,
I'm a pundit.
He does great work, pundit.
I am a pop culture pundit.
But yeah, so
but anyways, like, so yeah, I'm sorry that you hit a wall in that, but also like I'm glad that you can acknowledge it,
and we're gonna crawl out of it together,
and you're gonna try to do. I mean, listen, this is all conversations we need to have off of the air, but I'm gonna just say it on the air to put extra pressure on you.
Oh, good, that's what I need,
and to also get the fans to put pressure on you, like. motherfucker, you and I need to circumvent all of the red tape bullshit that you live in and just do comic book shopping on
that's
YouTube or
aggressively being fought for.
Yes. And or start a new program. I will produce and direct for you. You will use said contacts, once again, trying to circumvent the studio world and the red tape that you live in, because the reality is that's what's holding you back.
100%.
You think that that's your connection.
No, it's pure stress.
But it's pure stress. It's also you're waiting for people to give you the okay.
Right, and that's
versus
not how it works.
just being like, hey, I'm going to reach out direct, motherfuckers.
Right.
And
because I've been making those contacts. This last year has been me making the contacts that this next year I'm going to use.
Right, yeah.
And this last year.
Hopefully personal ones.
That's what I'm saying. Because this last year broke me where I was like doing 4 events a week plus doing all this work. And like, your boy's not going to be as many red carpets this year. I can't. Like, 34 is me resting.
I do remember telling you after you went to one, and I remember saying, like, do you go to one every night? Aren't you
like
sick and tired of
them?
them?
Like four nights a week, dude.
It's a lot.
It's a lot, but I needed to make those contacts personally.
Sure.
To me, I thought that I'm trying to dodge the red tape.
Right,
so
yeah,
this
yeah,
year this year I'm like, okay, I've done these favors. I'm calling them in, and I'm not calling Fox. I'm calling friend, and like that was a Fox and Friends pun. And so I'm trying to make it like
why?
Because that was the only studio that has a name in it.
Just because it was doesn't mean it was.
It wasn't good, but I realized it happened.
You heard it here. He likes to call attention to Fox's friends.
Guys,
much as
you heard it here first, folks. I'm gonna go work for the other side.
It's his favorite.
I'm gonna make that alt-right money. That said, I appreciate each and every one of you who reached out after my like angry 2 weeks ago show, and they were like, "Bro, you good?" And I was like, "It finally happened. I broke." So this is
you did drop a lot of F-bombs.
I was so angry
in
that week.
episode. I even put it in the show description to
did
warn
you really?
people. Yeah, I was like, "Koi's real hot." Koi's real upset.
But this feels better because I'm not angry this week. It's just me acknowledging in the crawl out. Like in the steps of therapy, it feels good to know like, okay, I can acknowledge it. I can see the emotion. Here's me crawling out of it. So this show is about pop culture, but it's also about like me and Jake talking and like you guys experiencing it. I want you guys to be aware as I shift my style of punditry, what the thought process was. More people reach out to me than anything saying like, how did you get where you are? Why do you do what you do? Because that's what it is. Like when you're an actor, you reach out to actors. When you want to talk about stuff as new media takes over, that's what I get most of. So I think I would find it interesting if I was just starting out to hear a precaution, a don't go this way. And I would rather help people not hit the wall I did. So as I crawl out of it, listen to the cautionary tale of Burnout Boy. And we'll navigate this together.
Do you want to feed the machine and talk about a Marvel property that we both like?
Yes. Please.
Because at this
I
point,
like positivity.
At this point now, we have 2 new episodes of She-Hulk.
We do.
That we haven't talked about.
We do. And
go ahead.
Before we get to She-Hulk, there's also been 2 positive DC announcements as well. So there have been positives.
Let's talk about the DC stuff really quickly because one of them I am so excited about.
That's what I thought you would
one
be,
of my
because we both love this movie.
Favorite DC movies is Constantine.
And it's getting a sequel, motherfuckers. I am so excited.
This is like such a step in the right direction. So
17 years ago.
There's 2 things DC needs to do, in my opinion. If someone went, hey, Jake, what are you going to do with all this DC nonsense? I would be like, I have the 2 very abrupt answers. 1, only continue franchises that were successful the first time around.
Yeah.
Stop making sequels.
Seems like math.
Stop making sequels to bad movies. 2, concentrate on the DC library that are the Elseworld stories,
things that worked for an audience.
No. Elseworld stories and non-traditional, the one-offs. If you want to really get people to give 2 shits about a new Superman movie, make Superman Red Son.
Great.
Do you get what I'm saying? Like
make the stuff we can watch a movie, be done with it.
Yes, this is why I think Batman or the Batman was successful, because it's just like, hey, you got year 1.
Start here. Have fun.
Yeah. Anyways.
Yeah, I agree. Make an all-star Superman movie, singular. Make the Superman Red Son.
Yep.
What is the most iconic image that everyone's talking about? Make that fucking story. Right. That incredible page of Superman with the girl trying to commit suicide. Make things that feel like that. Stop trying to make a 10-movie series that no one wanted anyway.
Right.
And I think DC is learning that because the Constantine's announcement is very much like, hey, we know this became a cult classic. Because Constantine wasn't gangbusters. It wasn't a huge hit, but now it is.
I think it was a successful.
Well,
no, it was a successful.
But it wasn't the Batman.
No, it wasn't Batman, but I do remember it being a big deal, though.
But it's only gotten bigger.
It might have just been.
It also opened our circles.
My friends group.
The box office was fine, but it's our circles.
Man, I watched the shit out of that movie.
And dude, it's Keanu's.
You know what? There was like that popular tweet that was going around that was like, oh, name movies you've seen more than 10 times. And I was like, God, I can't really think of a ton that is actually one of probably only like 6 or 7 movies I've seen more than 10 times. Because it was just
always on.
It was just an easy rewatch for me. I was just like, oh, I'll throw this on again.
That cast
and
too, Tilda Swinton, like Peter Stormare.
I loved little Shia LaBeouf in that movie.
Yes, same.
I was just
obsessed.
like, I was like, God, I was like, this kid's got my dream role.
Well, and it was him at his peak, right? Like it was post Transformers, pre Transformers 3.
Wait, that was post Transformers 1? No,
or it's right.
It
or
could
it's that
not
same
have
year.
been.
It might have been the same. It was like
it had to be before then.
It was in his run. Hold on,
because I thought he was still just like a babe. I thought
he was
like
a babe,
but he was like a teenager. And in Transformers, he was like what, 20, 21?
Okay, that was 05 because it was 17 years ago.
Wait, which one was?
Constantine.
Holy shit, that movie is younger than I thought it was. For some reason, I felt like it was an older movie. 05?
And Transformers was 07, which means
okay,
it was
so it's still 2, but yeah.
But like it was in the run. Like it was that run I'm talking about. That was prime Shia.
I will say though, yeah, he definitely aged a lot in between whenever they shot.
Drugs are a hell of a drug.
Really think that's what it was?
I mean, drugs age you. I mean,
I know,
he was
but
making
you think,
millions of dollars. Like he was in it,
but not at the time that Constantine came out. You think?
I think that launched him. I think he aged because he hit.
All right, I thought it wasn't until Transformers that he became the star.
I mean, he already had Even Stevens money.
Sure,
and then he got
and let Disney Holes money,
and then I Am Legend. Like he was in a lot of stuff.
I don't even remember him in that movie.
Let me see. Let's guys, let's talk Shia LaBeouf.
Oh boy,
let's do it, everybody. You guys just open this. I love Shia LaBeouf's career, and I don't defend Shia LaBeouf the man, but I am fascinated by his view on art. He's actually one of the people that, and actually worries me. He's a cautionary tale for me. The way he sees art is how I see art. Like I love his long monologues about it. I'm like, oh fuck, am I a psychopath? I want him to get help so bad. I love this dude. Okay, Even Stevens, Dumb and Dumberer, Charlie's Angels, Full Throttle, I, Robot, then Constantine. Like he did all of that.
Yeah, I don't see. The thing is that he was in big movies, but was he a star? Like, was he a household name?
He was like the guy that was always he was the best friend until Transformers.
Right.
So think about it. That's 5 best friend roles.
Yeah, that's good.
And then Transformers.
Robot. I need to rewatch that. I remember liking that movie when it came out, but it might have just because I was obsessed with Alan Tudyk. And he was the voice of the robot.
Yep.
And I might have just had a bias because I loved Firefly so much that I was like, this movie's great because Alan Tudyk is in it.
This must be great.
Maybe it's terrible.
Disturbia was when I think he really broke, and that was 3 months before Transformers.
Right.
So in between Constantine and Transformers, he did The Greatest Game Ever Played, A Guide to Recognizing Your Saints, Disturbia, and Surf's Up. Then Transformers. Dude was huge.
Sure.
Like this guy has one of the great careers people don't give credit to.
Anyways, nobody cares.
Shia
Constantine
LaBeouf
2.
show. Is this the Shia episode?
Constantine 2, though, I'm excited. I am curious to see what they do with the story. I'm curious to see what they do with the age gap, if it's going to be a true continuation, and this is 19 years late or however long it's been.
I hope it starts an Elseworld series where like you can have multiple different like.
And we did have Constantine on TV, right?
Yes,
in the
and
DC
the guy was solid too. The actor they cast, but he's not. Yeah.
But like. This is not tying into any of this Flashpoint shit, is it?
I assume not.
Okay, good. Like, I just want this to be just like, we're just
I think just Constantine too.
Yeah, good.
Because I will say now that it's public, this is the thing that this came up 3 times at Comic-Con. Like Keanu Reeves is obsessed with this character, which was really funny because
Great.
So like Keanu would talk about it like just in life because he talked about comic book stuff. Right. This and Batman like are his things. And then when we were talking to the Warner Brothers team, a lot of the people he works with now started with him on Constantine.
Right.
So it was really interesting being at Comic-Con. Like even when I did the WB, it was like a through line.
Right.
So I did the WB Games panel and they were like, hey, congrats on Hall H. We love working with Keanu, Constantine. And I was like, this keeps coming up.
Right.
And then when they announced it, I was like, was this fucking in the works? It felt like, now it's out there, which is rad. Because he even did an episode of Kimmel where he's like, if you could, no, it was Colbert.
Yeah, I remember
that clip.
Yep.
And so like that was a year ago. I think this has been like Keanu, like, come on, Constantine too.
I mean, at this point, with all the shit that's happening with Warner DC, you might as well make a movie with a bona fide movie star. Right. And that's not to say that I don't think Jason Momoa is a star or that Gal Gadot, but like they're not.
There's not a lot of Keanu Reeveses.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like him and Tom Cruise have the 40-year careers. Like not a lot of people have had the runs through the 80s, 90s, 2000s, and today.
And that have
like
such a varied career. The like bizarre indies, the heady. Scanner Darkly's, as well as The Matrix, as well. You know what I mean? Like it's there's
not many people are Bill and Ted and Speed and Matrix.
Right. Yeah. There's so many.
And John Wick.
Yeah.
He's reset his career as many times as Tom Cruise. And I don't think because he's not as much of a movie star because he likes to be a person. I don't think he gets the same. I don't think people see him like, oh my God, Keanu Reeves. Whereas he's done it as big. He's just like a nice guy that's like giving people motorcycles.
Sure. There's that picture of him just like in like the raggedy jeans and
Just
like
chilling on a
like a
bench.
blazer on a bench.
There's also the one that doesn't get as much credit. He literally like went to on one of his birthdays. He just went to like this bakery and bought a bunch of muffins, and everyone that came and said hi, he like had his birthday with them.
I love that.
And I'm like, dude, like that. But that's why he doesn't get the Tom Cruise flying on a plane level of like action stardom.
No, he is action star Tom Hanks.
Yeah, 100%.
That's who he
100%.
is. He is Action Hanks.
He's the Dave Grohl of movies.
Yeah. And they could be brothers.
And I want that for them.
Yeah.
But yeah, so this excites me because not only is a really good person getting another giant franchise, but it also means DC looks at what the fans have wanted as opposed to what the internet. Because I think the thing they learned that was hugely important was this bots thing. I think the bots thing was
about the
Snyder Cut.
Snyder.
I think
and,
it's really
and Morbius and all
Yes.
that. Oh wait, Morbius is Sony. But anyways,
I think it's really important that the studios are like, oh, we got hoodwinked, not again, and they actually looked at what fans have been saying. And Constantine's one of those ones, like we're talking about, that it's actually word of mouth from us, who are going to be buying the tickets opening night,
right? Yeah,
as opposed to whatever data algorithm bullshit.
Right.
And then the other good news out of DC is that the Batman 2 has locked its writer, and that it looks like the Penguin is going forward. So that little corner of the universe tying into Constantine makes me think that they are looking at disparate universes. Like things will be separate.
Good. The Penguin TV series.
Yes,
still, right?
with Colin Farrell.
Right. Yeah. What's the other DC thing?
That's
it.
Constantine. And that. Yeah.
Gotcha.
I just wanted to acknowledge that they're looking at darker, individual, not this shared universe. I think there's going to be a shared universe they're going to build, but for now, while they figure their life out,
the problem is like
too late.
Also with Ezra at the center of it,
no, they got to scrap that whole thing.
You just need to move on.
Yeah, that's what I mean by like
cut your
in the future. I think they should.
Did you see
finish these out?
Did you see our beloved Brendan Fraser, the interview that he was doing for The Whale, some press thing where somebody asked them both what it was, him and his co-star, and he asked them both,
what do you have to next?
Yeah, what do you have to next? And he goes, Batgirl? Oh. And then he just takes a moment like, did I say that out loud?
Inside voice, outside voice.
I love that.
yeah, Brendan Fraser's the best of us.
You get him, Campfire.
Campfire is a big Brendan Fraser.
All right, so
fan.
should we talk?
Let's talk about She-Hulk.
So I'm trying to remember what the last two episodes were since we last spoke.
Spooky demon fight, and then
okay, so and that was the same episode that she started her Tinder account.
Yes,
right.
So dating and demons was episode 4.
The show, I love it. I've realized my problem with the length, and you said like, oh, it is like a half-hour comedy. That's great because it feels like, and I think you said Spin City was your example.
Yeah.
Or it feels like a fun courtroom comedy. It feels like it's Night Court with superheroes. Here's the problem: all of those shows run for 25 episodes a season, and I feel like they're telling this. It's the same problem that I had with other TV shows. Is they're telling a 3-act movie. They're essentially taking a long-ass movie.
Yeah.
And cutting it up with typical 3-act structure into little chapters that all need to also have 3-act structures.
I think Daredevil's going to be your favorite because it's 16 or 18, like it's huge.
Oh, I hope so. But anyways, I still fucking love it. Sure. But every time the credits roll, I go, come on, more.
Especially episode 5.
Yes. But there's a fun little tidbit that I absolutely love in when she goes on her first Tinder date or her first Tinder dates. The first guy who then comes back, by the way, and is in the courtroom. And by the way, spoilers for
She-Hulk.
Yeah, obviously.
That's fair.
You should have known that by
come
now.
on.
Sorry.
But just in case.
The first guy that she goes on a date with, that actor, that's David Otunga, who is a pro wrestler.
Oh, shit.
And also a Harvard graduate lawyer.
That's amazing.
I think it's very, very funny to me.
They found a Hulk.
Very, very funny to me that David Otunga showed up. He was not an incredible wrestler. He's good,
a giant
charismatic,
dude lawyer. That's perfect.
Big dude. And the second I saw him, I was like, oh wait, he is also a lawyer. This show, they're just getting all sorts of lawyers.
That's so clever.
I was so
got
happy
another lawyer Hulk.
I was so happy to see him pop up, and so happy to see him show up again, and not just have a one and done.
Yeah.
He's also married to, and you'll be able to remember her name. She's in Dreamgirls. Who's the big star of Dreamgirls?
She got an Oscar, right?
Jessica something. Jennifer Hudson. Thanks, from the other room.
Yep.
Yes, so he's Jennifer Hudson's husband. Anyways, I saw that and I was like, Koi's not going to know the fun wrestling connection here.
I didn't, but I love that it's lawyer and wrestling.
I wanted to share that with you.
That's fantastic.
Seeing David Otunga pop up was very exciting just because I was like, hey, wait a minute. He's an actual
egg
lawyer.
For me.
But the whole plot line, like they're doing such a good job. This is, I think, people that criticize like, oh, Marvel comedy is bad, where they don't like the jokes in Marvel movies because they think superheroes need to be miserable.
No, the comedy here is so well written.
This is a movie this is a TV show, where you say like, but also the comedy is the plot as well. it's not just dumb throwaway humor. All of the jokes play in. This is Curb. It's all of those sort of.
Pug is a goddamn comedic genius.
Yes.
Your dude from the he's so good.
I love him. It's so fun. This entire
his Iron Man 3s, like I enjoyed the hell.
Oh
out of,
yeah,
like,
let's talk about all the shoes,
dude. The shoes,
because somebody did a screen grab of all of the sort of shoes that he had.
Technically, the first appearance of Deadpool, Cyclops, Scarlet Spider.
I do think that's all Elseworlds. I don't think those people are actually in the MCU.
Not yet.
I think that was just the artist and the end credits having a good time.
Which caused the conversation they wanted. Here we are.
I will say, the second I saw that scene, I immediately got sad because I was like, oh, I want to see that.
Yeah, I wish this was live action and we got that. Yeah.
What's her face? The girl who
Nikki, character's name.
Yeah. She was in real life. That actress was with Jim Carrey for a while.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
She's very funny. That makes sense.
I did a TV pilot with her.
Is she
and
rad?
Dane Cook, and I was telling Alexandra, she's one of those people who just like lights up a room. Like she's very much like an it girl, but not in a way. But not in a way that is like a douchey. Like she doesn't. I don't think she walks around thinking her shit don't stink. She just like glowy. She makes everybody. Yeah, she walked around. She would like literally walked around set and just was like just saying hi to everybody in between takes and like running lines, but also like in the corner just like saying hi to the grips and saying hi to the background people and whatnot. But she's so good in the show. And I don't know, I love it. I just love it.
I'm so happy every week, and it's like a good little burst of happiness. And I like that it's like, and then it just feels like a lot, and then I get like marinade.
Still wish the visual effects were better.
Yeah.
God, they're really distracting sometimes.
I really hope that whatever this phase 5 shift is like the pandemic. We're shifting. We've adjusted the scheduling. We've shifted. We have like. I hope that means the visual effects
more
throwdown.
polish.
Yeah, well, because the visual effects teams have been very public and like.
Well, it's not their fault. I do not blame them. Yeah,
they've been more public about like, hey, we didn't have a lot of time. Hey, this guy, blah blah blah. I'm hoping because it's been so public, they're getting more respect, more time, more money.
And they change everything so last minute constantly, and so
I feel like that has to change.
But my trick is I just don't look at her. When she's walking around, when she's doing something weird as Hulk and it doesn't look right, I just concentrate on another character.
You're like background Hulk.
Yeah.
Just let that be.
The actress from Hamilton who played her lawyer.
Yes, Mallory.
So good. And that scene when they're like exiting and Hulk looks so bad.
Yeah.
Looks so bad as they're exiting. So I'm just like, I'm gonna watch this pretty girl.
Look at this pretty girl talking to some green background.
Man, it's unfortunate. But I'm digging the plot.
It's so much fun.
Except what do you think? Obviously. What do you think about? Yeah, what do you think about the character who does the costumes?
Didn't love him.
Is this from the comics? This character? I'm not familiar.
One comic. He's
really?
In 3 frames. He literally is described as like the Fabio of fashion. He's just this one-off.
Wasn't Fabio the Fabio of fashion?
I think he was a model, right? I think.
Yeah, but what do you model?
But this is in the 80s where Fabio was just really popular. Like it's just that was the.
All right, sure.
But he like literally he's not a character. He's in 3 panels. I don't love it. I liked the way they did it in Netflix. Oh, you haven't seen Netflix's Daredevil yet.
He's in that as well?
Not him, but there's another person making the costumes.
Oh no, I know. Yeah, not Gladiator. What's the character's name?
Yes, though.
Yeah. What is his name?
It's something in that vein.
Gladiator, Armorhead, the guy who makes Fisk's. Because I did see the first 2 seasons of Daredevil.
So that character, I like that take way more.
Same.
So I don't love this. Like, I mean, I get it's a comedy show, so he wouldn't work in this. Well, but
it is also what I do like about this is, and I don't. Oh, we didn't. That's another big news we didn't talk about. Thunderbolts. But
right.
The thing though that I do like about this is that we're starting to create the fun superhero universe that is the non-mainstream
weird
people like in the MCU. We're starting to create what essentially is the boys
right
in the MCU, whereas like, oh, I like that there's this guy who designs, because a lot of his clients are probably like wealthy, shitty superheroes.
Right. They're the C and D listers.
Yeah, but they're like
the Big Wheel definitely got his suit from him.
Oh yeah.
Rocket Racer needed his boots designed.
Right. Yeah, so and I think that's kind of funny because with Thunderbolts coming, I don't know what story they're telling with Thunderbolts. I can't even guess, because once I saw Bucky on there, I went, oh, I have no idea what they're doing.
Because he's post-therapy Bucky.
I thought, I really thought like,
Also, there's 4 super soldiers on that team.
well, I mean, you know,
But like when you look at
it's
teams,
fair because it's the Thunderbolts and it's military super soldiers.
but teams
yeah.
is usually like a different power dynamic to make all of it balance out. If 4 of the same powers, like it's like what is
I
this
don't know.
redundancy?
That doesn't bug me as much as it's just like I thought these were supposed to be fake superheroes.
Whereas I think now what it's going to be is like they're all trying to actually do good and they're being hoodwinked by someone.
So you think they're going to change what the Thunderbolts at its core is?
Like Civil War did.
Yeah,
I think it's going to be like,
yeah.
oh, these are heroes, quotes, that think they're doing the right thing. Because if you think about it, U.S. Agent, there's no villains that think they're wrong.
Well, and that's the thing. Yeah, U.S. Agent got a lot of hate during Falcon Winter Soldier, and because of he wasn't able to carry the mantle. But I also
and he beheaded someone in a public space.
Sure. To me, that feels akin to what they have done with Abomination, in She-Hulk, where it's like, hey, I was just
doing my job.
I was just a soldier under a lot of pressure, given something I wasn't prepared for.
And I think we're going to address that opposite Sam Wilson.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a certain America versus a certain America in the movie.
Right.
And I think it's going to tie into Thunderbolts.
Right. So anyways, but getting back to She-Hulk, like, I do like that they are making it so that like, no, there's a bunch of crazy shit.
Yeah.
There's also, I mean, you probably talked about this in some video because you're like looking for all the Easter eggs, but like, Leapfrog, what's the character's name? Frogman, who is clearly the one who's exiting when they walk in, who's a cast member that we already know about that's coming later.
Very excited.
There's a lot of fun little stuff there.
Yeah, it's a fun show.
Yeah, it's super fun. And I do like that we're spending a lot of time in the courtroom.
Yeah, I want a little bit more. That's the thing about the runtime I wish we had, like, was actual courtroom. Because I also want the courtroom to feel a little bit more like a courtroom, not the punchline at the end of the joke of the courtroom. Like, I'd like to see some actual, even if it's written in jest, some ramifications of superhero stuff.
But that's why I do like that the last 2 episodes seem to be that, because it was like the defense of the douchebag.
Yeah.
And having to prove he was a douchebag the whole time. And then we have her being sued
licensing stuff
by Titania, which is super fun.
It's touching on it. I just wanted a little, and I think we'll get that in Daredevil. I think we'll get to the that place.
Right. Yeah. Like I said, I want Night Court.
Yeah.
Night Court with She-Hulk.
And I wouldn't mind 13
also,
episodes or more.
By the way, I wrote you on your birthday with, if you recall the text, I don't know why it took me this long, but with She-Hulk in the pop culture zeitgeist, I have now dubbed Koi He-Hulk.
Yeah.
Koi is now forever known as He-Hulk.
I did it, you guys.
There's Hulk, there's She-Hulk, and then there's He-Hulk.
He-Hulk.
You are He-Hulk.
I've been going to the gym. I'm trying to earn it. I'm trying to get my
I know.
He-Hulk
That's
up.
why I was saying that, because of all the posts.
Because if I only
your guns.
Well, because if I only post about comic stuff, I'm trying to find balance in the Force, you guys. All I have is guns and comics. That's all I have left. That said, I do want to thank some folk who reached out and sent me things on my birthday.
Yay.
This is the first episode after. I do have 2 other things I haven't opened yet because I wanted to like actually take and appreciate each thing at a time. And I know there's one more package coming because I have this like USPS alerts.
Oh,
like, so
you have the informed shipping?
Yeah.
Alexandra made me sign up for that, and she's
I
always
swear
like,
by it.
She's always like, oh, the other day I got something from my best mate Tony. And she was like, there's something in the mailbox you're going to want. And I was like, what? How do you know that?
What is this witchcraft? I live like in the city, so I'm always worried someone's going to like take my packages. So I always like know when to look on my steps. So far, I do want to thank the great Darth Vadad. Got me my very, very first thing. I got that actually on my birthday, the day of, which I really, really appreciate, man. Thank you. And I appreciate the apology Blu-ray after having us watch a certain other film. He sent me Dune, and said, and a movie much better than the one I made you watch.
The new?
Yeah.
Oh,
that was on my wish list. He said
Nice.
4K Dune, because that movie is so stunning. I want to like,
nice.
No streaming quality will keep up with how good that movie is.
Yeah, of
so I
course.
felt like I needed that in hard copy.
Yeah. There's certain, physical media for certain
For
things,
certain
for
movies,
sure.
and Dune is definitely
Don't
one of them.
rely on your internet service.
No, not with Dune. And he also sent me, I did not have knives. I only have 2 knives in my house. Like I don't have a knife set. So I had knives on my wish list because I'm a very practical wisher.
Oh, tell me you're a bachelor without telling me you're a
Right,
bachelor.
guys, I have 2 knives. So he sent me a very Darth Vadad set of knives that are really like edgy Sith Lordy, which is
Cool.
rad. And then Doug, the Dooger of Dougs, sent me
So many Dougs.
and I would like wrote it down. I wrote Doug, and then I had to like make sure I had the right Doug because I wrote Doug, and I was like, shit, Coy, Mayday, because the first 2 gifts I got were from Doug and Doug, and then from Dooger Doug, he sent me Deadly Class Volume 3 because the great Robin West Parker had earlier in the year got me Volume 1 and 2, and he got it all gift wrapped. So it was really cool because I actually opened a present, and it was in my favorite color wrapping. It was blues and greens, And then there was a
rat.
card and stuff. It was so rad. So thank you so much, Doug. And then Stacy Morris, I'm not sure if is a fan of the show or if they know me from other stuff, but sent me a water filter for Spidey Cat as well as this dope red shirt. And then the great Rick Durin sent me the liquid IVs. So when I don't drink enough water, I hydrate because I have a really bad problem drinking water.
Didn't you get those from the Morbius gift basket, the press?
Oh, that was so long ago. I need more liquid IVs.
Just trying to bring everything back to Morbius.
Morbius. You wait till you watch it. It's always going to be Morbin time on this show. You got to be ready. So if you folks sent me something and I haven't opened it yet, I will make sure in 2 weeks when we record again. But I wanted to give some love to the 4 packages I had opened. Thank you so much, Doug, Stacy, and Rick. I appreciate the hell out of you. And just getting birthday gifts like that you guys don't have to do that. So it means so much that you did. Thank you. That truly means the world. Thank you.
Do you have any comic recs this week?
I do have comic recs this week.
Oh boy.
I own 2 weeks worth. Now that we're caught up, I can actually 2 week to 2 week it as opposed to the before times of reading for 45 minutes.
All right, everybody take a deep breath.
Okay, let's see if I can do it in one.
No, please don't.
Okay, can I survive this? Okay, let's just do it regular. Okay, I got a top comics. There it is. Koicast note. Okay, from the week of August 31st, the ones I recommend were Amazing Fantasy 1000, Ant-Man number 2, House of Slaughter number 8, Superman World War Apocalypse. That is the end of the War World storyline that's been going on for the last year. So, and Marvel, they call them like Alpha Omegas, like it's the start and finish. This is a single one-off concluding this War World storyline. Thunderbolts number 1, a new Thunderbolts team as led by Hawkeye. So if you're into the idea of that show coming out, check out this is a great jumping on point. Variants number 3, We Only Find Them When They're Dead number 13, X-Force 31, and X-Men 14. From last week, the 7th. I have not read the 14th yet, so this is last week for now. From the 7th of September, Batman 127, Batman Dear Detective. This is a cool, different format to a book.
Did you say Dear Detective?
Dear Detective. Like not the animal, like
deer. I was thinking Dear the animal. Like,
I saw you
like,
quizzically.
I went to Deer Hunter, and I was like, are they doing some weird Deer Hunter, Dear Detective?
It's another team up with what's his name, the Wascally Wabbit. What's his the guy that shoots at Bugs Bunny?
Elmer Fudd.
Yeah, there's a Batman Elmer Fudd comic. Not kidding.
Wow,
it's canon.
All right,
that would be the sequel, Dear Detective. No, as in like Dear.
Is he drawn like the old Adam West Batman?
It's super intense. It's like a dark noir Elmer Fudd.
Interesting.
Tom King wrote it.
Oh, that sounds fantastic.
It's so good, dude. It's so much fun. Get your Elmer Fudd on.
Yeah, that's going to be added to the list.
So Dear Detective, DEAR, is a really cool, unique format. It's Lee Bermejo who did that really beautiful Joker book. He's a painter, and the comic is written and illustrated by Lee Bermejo. But what it is all covers and then pages of dialogue to connect covers together. So it's a giant oversized art book that he retroactively made into a story. So every page is a giant splash page of stunning painted art. It's a really fun, different format.
Nice.
And then we've got Captain America Sentinel of Liberty number 4, Ghost Rider number 6. This is a really good Ghost Rider issue. It's a Ghost Rider Wolverine team up, but it's actually in canon. Like the team up makes sense and it's really cool. They're dynamic together. Moon Knight 15, Poison Ivy 4, Punisher 6. Loving this run of Punisher. Like one of my favorites of all time. Really solid run. Only on issue 6. Highly recommend you jump on. She-Hulk number 6. Again, great She-Hulk run. It's fun because it's the opposite of the show. In the show right now, she's only practicing superhuman law as kind of a scapegoat. She's like a mascot. In the comics, she's trying to only represent non-superhuman hijinks to prove she can and to try to keep liability down. So she can't have superhuman clients, but all of her friends are super heroic. So she's like, all of my clientele. And so in this issue, like the X-Men come into play and she's like, I'm not supposed to represent. It's a really fun like take on lawyering.
Nice.
And then Wolverine number 24 are what I recommend for that week. So when we come back in a couple weeks, I will be up to date with the 14th, 21st, and maybe 28th. But I will let you guys know now, my family is coming in to visit the end of the month. So there might be a gap week. Jake and I got to figure it out. But either way, I'll probably be a little behind on comics because my family's coming into town that last week of September. And we usually record every other week. So that first week of October might be messy. But we'll figure that out. But just in case, wanted to give you the heads up because my family's only here for 5 days, so it's tricky to carve out time to read and record and stuff.
Right.
But yeah, so that's going to do it for this week. As ever, please do rate and review on Apple Podcasts. Got some new 5 stars. They made me real happy. Check out koicast.com for merch. We got shirts. We got mugs. We got masks. Check out the Patreon where Jake and I dive into all of the art that we have consumed thus far that week. I've got like 3 things this week going to be discussing. Really been enjoying doing that show, and you guys have been really supportive. It means a lot. And speaking of supportive, want to give some special love to the great Jacob Wood, who is organizing an iPad for me for my birthday, which was just super sweet and kind. Like I mentioned flippantly that I read on my phone and it hurts my eyeballs, and he was like, "Let's get a team together to get an iPad for Koi." So that's very sweet and kind. Thank you. And even if it doesn't come together, you wanting to make that happen is very sweet. Check us out on social media. Use hashtag KoiCast to get our attention, or even more directly, tag us at KoiJandro and at Jake Lloyd Bacon. That's where we are on the Instagram, on the Twitters, and me on the TikToks. You can call us at 818-794-0722 if you want to leave your own hot and hotline heavy call. That's 818-794-0722, or you can send a voice memo to contact@koicast.com. That's going to do it for this week. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for your patience as I rewrite how I do my punditry. And thank you, as always, to comic books and you lovelies for existing. We'll see you next week.
Hey everyone, Jake Lloyd Bacon here.
Along with Paul Bianchi.
And Alexandra Hoy.
Hey, we all host different shows on Dragon Wagon Radio.
We do, but that's not what we're here to talk about.
Not at all. We are here to talk about Dungeons and Dragon Wagon,
a narrative podcast series in which we venture into a mythical land for a D&D inspired role-playing game.
Alexandra and I are joined by Matt Hinksman and a very special guest of quest for each chapter of an epic saga in which we must take on the roles of half-orcs, dark elves, and more as we fight our way through a fantastical land of peril, drama, and often hilarity.
All of which is controlled by me, the Dungeon Master, and the players' chance rolls of the die.
And our show is for everyone. Even if you know nothing about D&D or role-playing games, we've got you covered.
That's right. Our game sessions are highly edited, easy to follow, sound designed from top to bottom, and completely immersive.
Yeah, our episodes sound more like a well-produced radio drama than an RPG show.
So what are you waiting for? Join the adventure on Dungeons and Dragon Wagon at dndwpod.com or wherever you find great podcasts.
It's Dragon Wagon.